You know, it's getting kind of cramped in here. And outside is an absolute mess. Fortunately, we can leave this mess behind. Right over here, I have set up a schematic cannon, and after working tirelessly for the last few days, it is now ready to go. This thing has been loaded up with every single thing it should need, down to the last detail. 14 pages of items and 5+ days of straight grinding, and this thing is ready to go now. We've loaded our schematic cannon up with our factory, and honestly, instead of talking about it, I'm just gonna show you all. So let's get going. So, the schematic cannon is a really nifty little tool. It converts gunpowder and the blocks in the chest nearby into whatever blueprint you feed it. So as long as it's got the right blocks and it has enough gunpowder, 400 blocks per one gunpowder, it will just keep on rolling. It'll just keep on building and it will follow the blueprint right down to the letter. One of the great things about this blueprint is that it only uses 3 different types of blocks: vanilla blocks, create blocks, and shipped blocks. I am actually going to make the blueprint available to anybody who would like to use it right down below in the description. Now, while most of the bricks and almost all of the deep slate and glass here was produced in-house, I did end up doing a decent amount of trading with some of the other people who I found out have based somewhat close to me. Most of the crimsite was bought via trades because this island does not have a lot of crimsite, which is that really deep red block being used in almost every part of the building. While the cannon seems to be going at a pretty decent clip here, just want you all to know this took 3 hours and 45 minutes to build all the way through. This factory is going to kick off most of my resource production. It's going to process most of the ground ores and stone blocks in order to allow me to just keep on digging down deeper and deeper and to really gather a lot of resources. This factory is one of many, and by making it the resource factory, it'll become much easier for me to build the following factories after this. I also need a place to do research from. I still have not found any new leads into how I ended up here or how to get out of here. And honestly, I'm starting to think it might be a quantity problem. I just need a huge amount of resources to break any kind of headway. This entire factory has a single axle that moves through it and allows all of the power for the entire factory to be transmitted. And if you'd believe it, this factory actually ended up being powered by 64 water wheels. I wasn't kidding when I said it took me 5 days to get all these resources put together. And I've been gathering the resources for this since I set up on this island, since the original day we showed up here. This has kind of always been the start point goal, you know? From this factory, I will gather enough resources to build all of the other great creations I need and want. Other factories, train networks, maybe even some military hardware later down the line. So on our first floor, we have ourselves the cobblestone and gravel refinement and consolidation area. This is where we take all of our cobblestone, grind it into gravel, combine it with all the remaining gravel, and then compress it down into iron nuggets and flint. This is our extra clay produced by grinding down dripstone. Running overhead here, we've got our deep slate consolidation. We consolidate all of our deep slate down mostly by superheating it and then putting it into a huge lava tank. We got a little bit of it dripping from the ceiling, but don't worry about that. This is main metal refinement. So here we take in all of our primary metal ores and then we directly melt them down, as is happening right here, right now. Over here, we've got our tough grinding. Tough grinding just makes a bunch of different types of metal nuggets, so we sort them all out and then leave the remaining flint down here. Over here, we've got our diorite grinding. This just turns it all into nether quartz for easier storage. At the end here, we've got a pretty complex line. So what this one does is we take granite from the line at the end, we turn it into soul sand, which then gets turned over into scoria. Scoria then gets combined in this auto crafting table here to make scorchia. It's actually doing it right now. Scorchia is then ground down, which returns back a bunch of coal nuggets, which can be ground back down to recreate the black dye needed at the center of the recipe. Sometimes it gives us the cinder flour necessary to make blaze cakes. With that being all of floor 1, it's time to go to floor 2. Up here on floor 2, we have more resource processing. We consolidate down coal, redstone, and lapis into blocks for easier storage. Then we filter out any emeralds or diamonds that are in the system just to make sure we've got those. Then we've got our final step here for now, which is the zinc grinding. Instead of melting down the zinc like normal, what we do is we grind it and then we wash it to get 9 nuggets per ore. It's the same amount, but we get a chance of making gunpowder. Everything else from the underground ends up getting sorted into here, and then we sort it manually. So that is the end of the actual ground processing that happens in this factory. There is a little bit more that happens though. Firstly, we have chickens and we have sugarcane. These are both used to make the blaze cakes on the first floor, so they're just sent down via chutes, and there's another one right under the duck cage. And that is the end of the second floor here. We're heading on up to level 3, the last level before the roof. Here is the laboratory. This is where I will be working out of for the foreseeable future. All of the automated work that's done below me will really provide me with a lot of resources. I've got a huge amount of chests already and plenty of space for more. And I've got all the automated machines I could possibly want. It's going to be an absolutely phenomenal setup, and I'm so happy that I'm no longer on ground level where I can get attacked by creepers on the regular. The entire factory is fully lit and nothing spawns here. And here we are, right up on rooftop level. The only thing up here really is the power axle that gives the power to the elevators. And beyond that, we just have a really nice view of everything. Now that the factory has been properly set up and I've shown you around, the only thing left to do is start a big pit mine and start gathering resources. Yeah, this'll do.